to invite His Excellency the President to deliver his remarks. Shall we please welcome him with a big round of applause?
Thank you. Thank you. Kindly resume your seats. Your Lordship, the Acting Chief Justice, my Lords Justices of the Supreme Court, my Lords and Ladies Justices of the Courts of Appeal, Honorable Ministers of State, sorry, I should have acknowledged, Your Excellency the Vice President, Jenana Opoku-Ajimai, senior government officials, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, family and friends. You know, I was remarking to Nana, I'm quite proud of this batch of appeal court justices because, and the reason is that out of 20, we have 9 women. The affirmative action law says 30% of appointments. This one we're beating 30% by far. But thank you very much, and I wish to warmly welcome you to the presidency. It is with great honor and a solemn duty that I welcome you to the presidency for this important occasion, the swearing in of our new justices of the Court of Appeal. This is not merely a ceremony of robes and oaths. It is a renewal of the covenant between us and the Ghanaian people in whom the sovereign power lies. For when citizens walk into the courts of this nation, they do not simply seek judgments, they seek hope. Hope that the law will protect them, hope that their rights will be respected, and hope that their voices will be heard. And today, as we swear you in, we're renewing that hope in our people. The Court of Appeal is the people's court of renewal. It is here that errors are corrected, injustices are reversed, and the principles reaffirmed that no wrong is beyond remedy. For many Ghanaians, the Court of Appeal is often the last hope for justice when all other avenues have been exhausted. And that is why the authority we assume today is not only legal, but profoundly moral. You hold in your hands the power to heal wounds, to restore confidence, and to guide our nation towards fairness. In recent times, our courts have not escaped criticism. Citizens have openly and sometimes harshly questioned judicial decisions. But I want to say clearly, criticisms of judgments is not the end of hope. It is the evidence of hope. It shows that Ghanaians still believe in the courts, that justice still matters, and that verdicts have meaning in their lives. What we must guard against is cynicism, the corrosive belief that the courts no longer serve the people, but only the powerful in society. To rebuild trust, our courts must demonstrate in word and deed that justice is not compromised by status, wealth, or political convenience. So to you, our new justices, I say, let your judgments not silence criticism, but inspire confidence in our people. Let your judgments reassure Ghanaians that while we may debate outcomes, we can never doubt your integrity, your impartiality, and your fidelity to the national constitution. Our reset agenda is not only about rebuilding infrastructure or expanding the economy, it's also about fostering a more inclusive society. It is also about renewing our institutions, restoring the faith of our people in the pillars of our democracy. A judiciary that delivers swift, fair, and transparent justice is a cornerstone of this reset that we talk about. And that is why the NDC 2024 manifesto commits us to reforms that will make justice more efficient and accessible to our people. The first is digitizing the courts so that adjournments and delays no longer frustrate ordinary citizens. The second is creating specialized divisions at the High Court and Court of Appeal to handle land disputes, commercial cases, and labor matters, which too often drag on for many years. Introducing time-bound case management systems to ensure that justice delayed is no longer justice denied. Expanding legal and aid services to ensure that justice is not for the privileged or the wealthy, but the right of every Ghanaian. strengthening judicial ethics and accountability so that misconduct and corruption find no place within our courts. These are not abstract promises, they are concrete steps that will make justice not only more credible, but also more hopeful. Let us remember that justice is not separate from development. Justice is the invisible infrastructure on which every economy, every community, and every democracy rests. Investors will not risk their capital where contracts can be overturned by bias and prejudice. Entrepreneurs will not thrive where land disputes trap them in endless litigation. Communities cannot live in peace where verdicts are held in doubt. And that is why the renewal of our courts is at the heart of our economic transformation. Our 24-hour economy, our big push infrastructure program, and our broader vision of shared prosperity. Justice is not a luxury, it is a foundation for all these. My lords and lady justices, as you assume your new roles, I ask you to carry these three virtues. The first is courage, the second is integrity, and the third is humility. Courage to resist pressure, whether political or financial. Let me go over that. Courage to resist pressure, whether political or financial, and to uphold the law even when it is unpopular. Integrity to ensure that justice cannot be bought, delayed, or bent by influence. Humility to remember that power is given not to rule over the people, but to serve the people. History remembers not those who followed the path of least resistance, but those who stood firmly for principle when it mattered most. At this moment in our national journey, Ghanaians need reason to hold on to hope. They need to believe again that the courts are not distant temples of law, but living guardians of fairness. Every decision you make can rekindle that belief. Every ruling you make can remind citizens that Ghana is still a land where truth prevails and justice is not for sale. I urge you, therefore, to be not only arbiters of law, but also custodians of hope. Carry with you the solemn truth that justice is the most powerful promise of our democracy, and that through your service, this promise would endure. If you do this, then long after you have left the bench, your names will not be merely recorded in law reports, they will be remembered in the hearts of Ghanaians as justices who renewed our faith in our republic. As you take your oaths today, know that you swear not only before me as president, not only before the Chief Justice, but before God, before history, and before the people whose lives you will touch with your judgments. May your judgments be wise, may your service be faithful, and may your legacy be enduring. On behalf of the government and people of Ghana, I extend a warm welcome and congratulations to you on this noble calling. May justice prevail, may hope endure, and may our nation be renewed. I thank you, and may God bless our judiciary and our beloved country, Ghana. Thank you.